And I have gone, the neighbourhood watch in South Armagh. Tony McKeown's with me from Crash Services down on Mary Street in Newry. Tony, you're welcome.
There you go. Thanks, Ron.
Good to see you. Always good to see you. And you. This is an important piece of kit. It's the Leading Lights Award of 2014. The Royal RSA, the Royal Society.
The Road Safety Authority.
Road Safety Authority, yeah. Business, Crash Services and Ireland's Safest Young Driver competition. How in the name of goodness do you start off trying? You've got the award,
yes,
and well done first of all.
Thanks, Ron.
But how do you go about the business of trying to find Ireland's safest young driver? Where do you start?
Yeah, well, Ron, what happened last year, we'd come up with the idea to run this innovative competition to find Ireland's safest young driver. Over the last number of years, you've seen the emergence of black box telematics technology, which basically it's a device which is fitted to a vehicle and can monitor how safely someone is driving. So that's where the two ideas came together. Now you've got a methodology of measuring the drivers. Then that gave us an opportunity to go out and talk to particularly the young people. Young people are the most high risk group on the roads, Rowan.
Indeed, they are. Yeah.
And that's where again why we thought we'd target that area and really make young people aware that these boxes are available to them, and that they should have nothing to fear. That actually wouldn't, because the biggest risk, as I said, was when people pass their test and get on the road. I think they say there's something like 25% of young people will have an accident within that first year after the accident.
That's a big percentage. It really is.
Absolutely.
So you decide on the concept for the competition. You start looking. Is it island-wide or right across all of Ireland?
Yeah, well, we did run a Northern Ireland competition at the back end of 2013. It went really, really well, so we decided to launch it over the whole island, so on a 32-county basis. We were looking for drivers. I said, ideally, we're looking for a male and female from every county, which we were hoping for to sort of get the county rivalry going.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, myself and the team, there's about 5 people at Crash were involved in this project, and we travelled all over Ireland, from Letterkenny, all down the west coast, from Sligo, Galway, Limerick, Kerry, Cork, across into Waterford, up through Carlow, and a lot in Dublin, and then up through back into sort of Dundalk IT again. So we were all over the country trying to recruit students, really getting sort of on a face-to-face basis rolling with them all. And the response was fantastic. We ended up having 60, just under 60 drivers took part in the competition. Those drivers.
And was each of those drivers in their vehicle, did they have a black box placed in the vehicle?
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's no ambiguity of their quality of driving. They're being monitored for the purpose of the competition.
Absolutely, yes. And the box that we fitted actually gives you a driver's score out of 100 for every journey you do. So, and you lose marks for displaying high risk behaviours. And what they really say, Rowan, is the people who are braking aggressively, accelerating rapidly and cornering aggressively as well, those are the ones that are most likely to have an accident. So if you display those high-risk behaviours, the system picks that up and you lose marks. So these drivers had the boxes in for 10 weeks. So over a 10-week period, and I think overall they did something like 120,000 miles they drove during the competition period, and at the end that came up then with each driver was placed in order of their score.
Yeah. But I mean, first of all, I'd like to say that it's a huge commitment you made to this. This is, this is times you could have been spending selling the Crash service product, but you weren't doing that. You were reaching out into the community, taking time to invest in the health of drivers.
Yes, well, I think Crash has been around for 19 years here in Newry. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary next year, and we're there to help people when they have an accident. And unfortunately, there's probably sort of 70,000 vehicles involved in accidents in Northern Ireland alone every year. So we're there really to pick up the pieces after the accident. But we have in the last couple of years decided to go into accident prevention, and the use of telematics technology is a big part of that. So it's an area of business we're branching into in the future, and we're really excited about it. We do see the potential in it to promote safe driving, and particularly in the insurance field as well. It's something we would like to move into in the future.
I know that's been an ambition to go into insurance.
Yes.
That's going to happen.
Well, we're hopefully this year we are trying now. Things take time to develop, but we do see telematics being linked to an insurance product is vital for the development of it.
I certainly know the crash philosophy is based on not screwing the drivers in terms of insurance. And I think the statistics would show the amounts of money involved in insurance and the kind of markups and all the rest. These are things to be examined and looked at on behalf of the driver.
Yes, well, I think what's happened in this particular case, you're seeing this is a global trend. Telematics systems being used by insurance companies to give to reduce the premiums, particularly for young drivers. When you look at your own as a young driver, his average premiums in the past would have been say $3,000 for a male of age 18. They're now starting to see 40 and 50% discounts on that.
If the black box shows them to be good.
Yeah, well, even just putting it in, they're getting a good discount up front, and if they continue to drive well, they get even further discounts. So it's something that's really, really exciting. As we know, young people, Rowan, need to have access to a vehicle, particularly in areas like this, for employment, going to schools. So it's vital they can afford to be on the road. And in the past, they would have been priced off it, but telematics is now allowing them to use those good, because there's a lot of good young drivers out there.
Absolutely. You had 60 that you examined as a consequence. You looked at 60 black boxes. You had one winner.
Yes.
Now, if you have one winner, you have 60 black boxes. The 59 that didn't win, what was the general standard like?
I would say that we would put them into 3 different groups, Rowan, from having done this exercise a couple of times now. You've got people who are very good already, so they're driving very well from the start. There's ones, a lot of people then that improve their driving when they have a box in, so they sort of their scores improve over time. And then, unfortunately, Rowan, you do have a very, very small group of people who drive badly, or you would call high risk, and continue to drive high risk even though the box is in there. So I think that the challenge for everyone is how you intervene with that small minority group who are driving aggressively. Maybe sometimes they don't know they're driving aggressively, or else
sometimes they do, because you've seen it, and I have seen it. The special exhausts that roar as they take off. That would be a fair enough indicator that you've got a Neanderthal creature behind the wheel, would it?
Well, and I think some people get a buzz out of it too, Rowan, as well. Driving aggressively, there's no question about that. You do have it. It's just how you intervene with those drivers is the big challenge.
And just see, we're in the morning after 4 young women having been killed down in Athy in County Kildare. Last night.
That's right.
It's just awful.
No, awful. And those drivers were aged 19 and 20. Who died?
The wrong group.
I think, Ron, if you look at the statistics for Northern Ireland, there's a lot of headlines, obviously, in the last week at the end of the year. There's 79 fatalities on the roads in Northern Ireland alone last year, and that was up from 57 the previous year. So I think everyone there at this time is reminded that every time you get behind the wheel, you have to concentrate. Everyone can make a mistake, so you have to sort of concentrate as best you can the whole time when you're in the road.
See, I'm looking at this as well. I'm coming back to this again. 5 women travelling in the car. Now, 5 in the car is quite a few. I'm not pointing any finger of blame here. I'm not, of course. But my observation is that in other situations, I have seen people. 5 in a car, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 3 across the back seat, and there is a propensity in younger people in that kind of crushed situation not to use the seatbelt.
That can be, as you said, Ron. We can't talk about the circumstances of this incident, but I think yes, people not wearing their seatbelts is a significant contributor in accidents, or people dying in accidents, and the PSNI would back it up with their statistics as well. And I think it is. And I think what you often find is, even on short journeys as well, Rowan, is that people can have accidents within 50 yards of the house, 100 yards of the house, and you can know yourself. You're going to local shops. I don't need to put a seatbelt on, either front or back, and that's. I mean, people just have to keep remembering that at all times.
I've got to the stage. Maybe I don't know why. Maybe it's because of age, but I mean, I certainly have got to the stage where when I put the seatbelt on, I feel more comfortable. Just as at the start of the seatbelt legislation, when I put it on, I didn't feel comfortable.
Yes.
It's gone the whole circle now. I feel good about having it on.
No, I think Rowan, you are right. Is that the people who do it habitually will always do it, and it's the ones who are not doing it on a regular basis just get into the habit of not doing it. You do it once or twice, and then it's better not to do it. But I think, Roman, what you mentioned as well about the number of people in the car. I think the talk about distracted driving as well is a huge issue, and particularly an area that we're now focusing on is mobile phones. If you look around yourself, you can see it when you drive through Newry. The amount of people on their mobile phones is incredible.
You see, there's a psychological thing there. If you have your phone on in the car and it rings, oh, someone's ringing me.
Yes.
Suddenly you get a buzz out of the fact that, one, someone wants to talk to you. And who could it be?
That's right.
Is it more work, or is it my mammy or my wife or whoever? Bum, 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 bum.
That's right.
And you're drawn to it.
Yeah.
So maybe the best thing to do is when travelling is switch the phone off completely, or get a hands-free jobby.
Absolutely. Or put it in the boot, Ron. I think that's the best advice I would give now.
Yeah, but certainly not to use it. How does the technology, the black box technology, work? Is it big to connect into the car?
No, it's very easy. This type of device, it fits in behind the glove box, so it does take a fitter to about half an hour to fit it in.
Yeah.
It really just sits flat in behind the glove box, this particular system.
Yes.
It's measured up. It's wired up to the car battery.
Yeah.
It's not wired up to any other engine management unit of the vehicle, just the battery. Then there's a SIM card within that as well, and that information, the SIM card is sending information from the box to a central computer. That information is then processed in which then gives you a driver's score.
Yeah, so that's happening in real time. You're driving, I brake, and that braking operation is transmitted by the box to a central station somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's how it works.
Yes.
It's really, and where is that? Is it in your crash place that
no, it's in a place in England.
In England?
Yes, that use it. But I think it is fascinating, but it's very for the user it's very simple, because they can log on and see the driving score. Like if you finish a journey, if I drove from Crossmaglen this morning into here, I could log on the system and see my journey from Crossmaglen.
And it'll mark you 1 out of 10.
Out of 100.
Out of 100. One out of 100.
Every journey's out of 100.
Out of 100.
Yeah. So it is fascinating. I think for particularly for young people, Roman, when they're being marked and tested on a regular basis at the moment, to get into the car and then have a score for every journey.
Yeah.
It's something they're very familiar with.
Absolutely. You take a pride in it.
Yes. And that's where you do find that. And I think, as I said, if they're going to get the particular savings that they're talking about getting, it'd be fantastic for young people to go for this.
But Tony, does it also give you the opportunity to know where you went wrong, or do you need to figure that out yourself?
No. I think what's very innovative about the system as well is that actually when you do something wrong, if it's a particular issue like harsh braking, let's say, the system will encourage you to go onto the online training system. So there's videos relating to the particular incident which you had.
Wow.
So it's fascinating.
And the system, as it is plugged into the battery and nowhere else, can pick up. At that point, you braked too harshly. At that point, you swerved when you shouldn't. It's picking that up.
Everything you do.
Goodness gracious, that is amazing. How's the magazine going?
Yeah, it's gone.
It's again a safe driving aid, an innovation by Crash Services. A magazine about safe driving are prioritised.
Yeah, it went very well last year. Now, again, it's another new initiative that we set up last year, where we have distributed 50,000 magazines through schools, colleges, so through the police are giving some out as well. We've sold a number in retail shops. So there's been 50,000 of those sent out. We've also, as part of that initiative, we have delivered a presentation to 80 schools around Northern Ireland as well. So if somebody full-time working on that project, under the website's called newdriverni.com. So it's really creating a resource for young people starting off on the road for the first time. And a real key theme, as you said, Rowan, is the safe driving and the benefits of safe driving, whether that be sort of taking things a bit easier on the roads, reduce your fuel consumption, that safe drivers should be rewarded with cheaper insurance, and really things to look out for as well for these new drivers.
Stay with me if you would. We're going to take a break and then we're back, and you'll stay with me to the end of the programme. We're with Tony McKeown of Crash Services.
Destination Newry. We're back in moments.
Gentle, gentle, dental. Relaxing in the chair, a time to meditate perhaps, let go, no worries. Yes, we're talking gentle dental. Let's face it, dentistry is a finely focused, painless science these days. The bad days are long gone. But it's the add-ons, our chairside manner, painlessly safe in the caring hands of the masters at Gentle Dental in Warren Point. For all your dentistry. Perfection. We do it our way. It's as easy as that.
The Modern Fireplace Company and Monumental Works, including the Granart Stone, are local businesses which have been operating from the heart of Newry for 35 years. We specialise in the manufacturing, supply and fitting of any natural stone products our clients require. From our beginnings as fireplace specialists and monumental sculptures, we now also offer a beautiful range of natural stone products for all needs, including fireplaces, headstones, architectural stone, hard landscaping, flooring and workshops. For further information you can contact us on 028 3026 4185 or email info@granartstone.com, or why not call into our showroom at Cecil Street, Newry. East Ocean is Newry's newest hot food bar and now open for business, specialising in a wide range of authentic Chinese and European cuisine. We are conveniently located in the heart of Newry City, situated at 15 Railway Avenue. Open 6 days a week from 4:30 p.m. to midnight and closed on Tuesdays. Delivery service available. That's East Ocean, Newry's newest hot food bar.
O'Reilly Transport, Ireland, Promenade Road, Dublin Port. Established in Newry, County Down, and now one of the leading freight and logistics companies operating on the Irish Sea. We work throughout Ireland, UK and mainland Europe with over 40 years experience in the transport logistics industry, aiming to provide the best possible transportation solution for our customers. We are proud to list amongst our customers many blue chip companies who are leaders in their field. Find our head office at Promenade Road at Dublin Port, or contact us today on 00353 1865 9000.
You've reached your destination.
Go! The kind of crystal ball, the leading lights awards, and it's awarded to Crash Services, Ireland's safest young driver competition. And what an innovation that was. And Tony is with me, Tony McKeown from Crash Services. And we've gone on from Ireland's safest young driver as an innovative approach to improving road safety in Ireland. We've gone on from that to talk about the application of electronics to monitoring how drivers behave on the roads. We're talking now about your magazine, which is designed to improve. But I mean, you're almost doing yourself out of business, because at the end of the day, if suddenly there's no more accidents, then Crash Service has no business to do. But maybe that's a good thing if you can.
Well, I think so we talk a lot about the ethos of our business, and you know, my father has a strong ethos of helping people.
He has
from when he started the business, and I think really that's where we're at. We don't accidents will always happen. We believe, and we're there to help them. We don't create them, but it's just when they're there, we're there able to help people in the aftermath of.
What exactly does Crash do when I get an accident and I say, "Oh, there's Crash Services. Hello, I've just had an accident. My car's written off halfway down the Warren Point Road. How can you help me?"
Yeah, I think that the great strength of our business is that whatever services someone needs after an accident, Rowan, we can provide it. And really, what we do, we sit between the motorist and the insurance companies.
Yeah.
So when you have an accident, either you've caused the accident yourself, or else someone has caused the accident to you. So depending on whatever the circumstances are, in a particular situation, we'll be able to provide you with the services. We've dealt with sort of over 65,000 people involved in accidents now across Ireland. So we've got a huge amount of experience there, and we're really there to look after the person's best interest and make sure that you get your full entitlement from your policy.
Is that not something one would expect the insurance companies to do if they were doing the job right?
Yeah, well, yes, but people would say that we shouldn't exist if the insurance companies were doing their job right. But I think they haven't got all the flexibility of us being on the ground, being specialists in this area. They're there to sell insurance and yes, deal with claims afterwards. But we're really there, and particularly if you look at, say, for example, someone not at fault for an accident, Rowan. I mean, you don't have to deal with your own insurance company. The other person has caused the damage to you, so their insurance company should be picking up the bill. And really, that's what our real strength comes in there. We will provide all the services. Like for an example, you said there about your car being damaged. There, if somebody drove into you in the Warren Point Road, we would get your vehicle recovered.
You'd take me to Mr. Duffy, that wonderful, excellent fellow of car restoration.
Yes, Paul
he's a good man.
We work very well with Paul and lots of other garages around Northern Ireland.
You actually have your network of specialists.
Yes, yeah. So we said after you get the vehicle recovered, we would bring you to a garage, or either one of our garages or one of your choice, and then really deal with the claim after that. If you maybe need a replacement vehicle for a period of time while your car is getting fixed, we would provide that as well. And any other administration around the claim, we would handle that. And our team in Newry, we have an office in Newry, Belfast and Dundalk. We have a team of about 30 girls on the front line, we call it, who are there taking the calls.
Yes.
And those girls again have great experience, have great empathy with people.
Absolutely,
because they're dealing with so many accidents every day of the week. They understand what a stressful situation it can be. So it's really then we'll deal with that claim against the other person's insurance company for you. The great thing about our service is you have nothing to pay us to crash. We make our money from hiring vehicles and getting the vehicles fixed. So there's no charge for our service. You don't have to be a member of Crash to use our accident service. And anyone can ring us at 24/7. There'll be someone on the end of the phone there. There'll always be a person who answers the phone.
And even if it's not, even if it is my fault,
yes,
is it still free?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can use our services, and we'll make sure that you get your full entitlement from your own policy, and make sure you're told of all your rights.
Well, that's important. That's important. And this morning we were just talking about Crash's altruism, reaching out into the community and doing the right thing, like the Young Driver Award. I wouldn't like to calculate how much it cost you in man hours out going around the country doing this. A substantial investment in manpower to do this and make this work. And then we're talking about the magazine. The other notion I had, I don't know if it's one down the road, I'd always felt a young driver passes his driving test, and that's the last time he's tested in all of his life.
Yes.
Now the danger period is the 24 months perhaps after passing the test. What would be wrong with coming up with an idea for a secondary test 12 months down the road, 6 months down the road, where the person would be brought in and assessed again, not to lose his license, but to be advised on the quality of his driving at that point? It seems a straightforward enough thing.
A wonderful idea, and I'm sort of I would wonder myself, Rowan, why it's never happened, because there has been a lot of push, particularly with driving instructors. They're wanting it to happen. I don't think it's a vote winner. So it'll be interesting to see whatever comes in the legislation. They are talking about bringing in some changes next year in the Northern Ireland Assembly for young drivers and what they call the graduated licensing scheme, where for example, one of the proposals is that you can get your license at 16 and a half, but you cannot sit your test until you're 17 and a half. So that's a start of the process, and there's a couple of other bits of legislation they're hoping to put through as well. But I think it'd be a wonderful idea for it to happen. I think what people have said, Ron, if you look at the MOTs, is that the fact people are their cars are getting tested after 4 years now every year, that actually the vehicles causing accidents is minimal now. It's very, very rare that there's a problem with the car which causes the accident. That it's the human. So say, well, if the car needs to be tested every year, but the human isn't being tested after the first test, I think that it's a great argument.
Something wrong there.
Great argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, but I suppose it's about incentive as well. It's cost versus the incentive. So I think the insurance companies have looked at these type of things. There's a scheme in England called Pass Plus, where people did a secondary number of lessons and got a secondary qualification. and some insurers were given a discount for that. So I think that's really.
It's there. Then something's moving at any rate.
At this stage, when anything that's going to come in, like a secretary, is going to be voluntary.
Absolutely.
I think that's the only way that young people are going to be incentivised.
What about schools? To my way of thinking, if schools are teaching us the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic, there's a lot to be said, because every child in that school is going to be driving a car near enough. Mm-hmm. Something on the curriculum within the school to
Absolutely.
talk about. Maybe it's happening already. But
no, well, I think again, not part of the core curriculum, as I would say, Rowan, is that it hasn't been brought in now. There has been quite a big push for that. I know the DOE produce resources for school teachers to do lessons. I would say we've had a wonderful response ourselves, Rowan. We're going in doing an hour presentation to years, so the 17, 18-year-olds in schools on safe driving.
That's extraordinary.
And that has been particularly well received by the teachers, and that's most of the schools were doing that in a lesson they do once a week called enrichment classes. When again, what you said, there are things that are not in the core curriculum but are important to schools. So I mean, we've had a great response. I'd say we've probably presented to 10,000 students across these schools. And we've got a big buzz over it as well. Absolutely. And you can definitely see that the teachers and the young people are very interested in the message which we're delivering.
Well, Tony, thank you very, very much indeed for coming in. Yeah. It's Tony McKeown of Crash Services in Newry. Where your premises there, I'm very familiar with them, because that was the house of McKenna's when I was a child, and we were next door. It was 44, the number in those days. We were 44 Mary Street. And then when I got married, Marie and I came to live in the space you're in. There was a house there that had about 22 floors, and we were in there. So I know Mary Street, I know where you are, and it's lovely to see what you're doing there, and the way in which it's not just about money, it's about caring and making safer drivers out there on the roads. Tony, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks very much for having me today.
Okay, we'll have some music for you now, and then we'll say farewell to the people.